All right, good morning, everybody. Appreciate you guys being here. Getting a little bit of a sell-off into the open here. We have a bit of a lower high and lower low market into the open. Pulling back into that rollover gap. We have been glued to that rollover gap, mostly on NASDAQ. We haven't really been glued to it on ES too much, but now ES is actually being pulled back into that rollover level. So keep an eye on that back down to 440. We have kind of already hit our targets to the downside here. Both of our targets, actually, from the trade plan that I put out last night. If you guys were in Discord, if you guys were trading pre-market, hopefully that helped you out. But we do have to find some new targets here. Let's see. What level do we want to use? I think we have to use the 493 level. That's really the most recent level that we can use. Our first target, the downside, will be 440, which is almost already being hit, but that's really the best target we have right now. And then 392 will be that next target. And then holding above 493, we will look for that retrace to 533 and then around 555. Today, I would say, is more of a bearish trend day because there are a ton of nodes. And they're obviously one directional. Okay, so what I said here was basically just keep an eye on all of our trending and trailing methods, the EMAs, the VWAPs, the nodes, all that stuff. And as long as they are being protected, it is going to continue to find lower value. But if we start breaking all those nodes, those EMAs, the trails, whatever, then we are trapping the late sellers and going back into more of a retrace. Okay, same story here on NASDAQ. We're already hitting our targets. So let's go ahead and update our levels here. We're going to use this 842 value level. We are going to target 663 down to 281. Very far away, but that is the closest value. So holding back above 842, we are going to look for, I would say, 65. That's a value level there. And then we have 151 value as well. So very wide levels today for our trade plan, but that's just because we are moving so much on the day. And this goes back to what we talked about on Tuesday and Wednesday. This goes back to us talking about how these P shapes back to back are not a good thing, right? These tails can be taken out because we are not finding higher value. These P shapes are failing, is why we call it a P-shaped failure, right? Staying below the value low and pushing those lower tails. And that's exactly what's happening here. You are not finding value on the upside, so therefore, those lower tails are the main target. And the lower tails are obviously being taken out. Extremely trendy day. Look at how clean it is on the EMAs, following the EMAs the entire way down. If you looked at the bots, if I pulled the bots up here, which I don't want to pull up on this screen because it will break that chart. Where are they here? Yeah, like right here. If you look at the bots, very trendy. Sell, 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 sell. Just nuking downward. Just a very trendy day. We'll see if we get any type of like overnight fade pushing against this prevailing trend on the pre-market. Even the 30 minutes just absolutely nuking and trending here. Sell pressure at the open so far very strong. We'll see if they can stay below those EMAs. Good morning, everybody. You want Scott, Future, Patriot, Fernando, Lubmir, Morris, Stephen, Blood, Lulu, Luis, Abby. Good morning, Josh, Typhoon, Karini, Anthony, Greg, Ray. Good morning, Scott. Yao, eBay. D said, how do I find those levels? Those are just volume profile levels. So I take the full session, the closed days, and every single day, once it closes, I just mark out the value high, the value low, and sometimes the POCs. And I do that every single day, which is why my chart looks kind of ridiculous if I zoom out too much. Because, like I said, I do this every single day, so I do not delete them until they are tested with a decent amount of price action. So like these ones I haven't deleted just yet because we're kind of overlapping them. But eventually I will delete all of these once we retest them. Like after today, I'm probably going to delete like these 4 levels because they're all being tested. So like that will be deleted, that will be deleted, that will be deleted. Because today is just breaking all those levels. But I don't delete them right away. So probably like when I go to draw my levels at the end of today, I will delete all the ones that were broken. Yeah, all I do is every single day just mark out the closed profile. So like these ones I didn't mark because it already got taken out, right? Okay, a lot of buy pressure here, turning into a sweep. We'll see if they can stay above these EMAs, the trails, etc. Yeah, English, exactly. You can use 68 or 70% are the like 2 most used. I think 70 nowadays is more used for the value area. If you want to be statistically accurate, 68% is the proper level, because that is the standard deviation level. But I think the more widely used level is 70%. Yeah, Karini, so you're talking about like around here where the delta's going up but price is going down. That is technically a bull div, and that's probably why we're getting a lot of buy pressure on the open. You could look at that two ways. Like you said, you could look at it as like the buyers are being absorbed because they're coming in, but they're not getting anything. Or you can look at it kind of like a, like we talk about with vertical distributions, this would be a downward accumulation. So the buyers are accumulating, kind of like dollar cost averaging while it's going down, and they're looking for a move like this. So they are technically getting what they want. They're not really being absorbed anymore. Keep an eye on VWAP, 975 and 93, if it does continue here. So 1 minute trail got taken out. Here is the 5 minute trail. So we are starting to waterfall. Good morning, Flory, Panama, Julio, Carini, Wally, Larry. Good morning, Stream, Roman, Sebastian, LDT. Good morning, English, Orion. Good morning, Anthony. Good morning, Matthew. You said, are your trade plans for pre-market for Discord members? Yep. So what I do is every morning I post the trade plan in Discord and in YouTube. But then in Discord, not on YouTube, around like 3 p.m., I post like an update, basically talking about what happened for that day if you guys missed the morning, and then what you can look for into the close. And then around like 10 p.m. to 12 a.m., I post a closing statement, which is the same trade plan that I post in the morning, same style, but it's for my pre-market traders, my European traders, my Asian traders, all the traders that trade when I'm sleeping. I want to give them something to look out for when I'm sleeping, and I can't help them, right? So I post that trade plan in Discord, like I said, around 10 p.m., 11 p.m. So like last night, the trade plan was holding below 75.33. We were looking for 93 and 58, which obviously those got tested. 58 is right here, actually, damn near the bottom. Where do you find that in Discord? It's in the analysis channel. So once you're in Discord, there's a bunch of channels. But realistically, the one you need to focus on the most is the analysis channel. That's where I post all my stuff. Everything else is like, they're like helping channels. There's like templates and playbooks and all that stuff. But where I'm actively posting is the analysis channel. And throughout the day, if there's like something major I want you guys to keep an eye on, like yesterday I was posting a few times throughout the day as well. I was posting that, like here's a good example. So like 1 p.m. I said ES is still holding outside of value, but it's currently exhausted and not finding higher value. That was like right before the high of day. So I was talking about it was being exhausted trying to break above the value high, and then we started to nuke and then sell off, right? And then I started talking about sellers pushing down into the value high, and then they're going back into rotation, etc., etc. So I post stuff like that throughout the day. So just keep an eye on the analysis channel. Watch this VWAP at 92. We're still pushing into it. You can find the Discord plans on the website. It should be like the 3rd or 4th link down below. Good morning, Stronger. The first one coming up is the session VWAP. That's funny, Florida, yeah. Yeah, if you guys are buying any more accounts, just hold on to them. I know they're doing a bunch of discounts recently. The 5 packs were very cheap. Now they're bringing back the legacy accounts, etc. So if you guys are buying more accounts with that code, just hold on to them. I will grab those from you guys on Monday. Well, starting Monday. I'll grab them the entire week. They brought back the legacy accounts again. So if you guys are looking to get the legacy accounts where you can actually hold on to them for longer than a month, those are brought back. The 100K legacy is around $30. The 50K is around $20. 150 is $50. 250 is $60. And then 300K is around $70. So if you guys are struggling with the 50Ks, the 250K or 300K legacies are not bad. You can actually hold on to those as well. Do I invest in stocks as well? Yeah, so I'm not like actively day trading stocks. I'm more so like picking companies every now and then for like long-term accounts. Typically what I'll do is I'll have like a short-term target and then like a long-term target. So I'll take like a piece of the position off in whenever it hits that target. So maybe a week, maybe a month, whatever. And then after that, the rest of the position I'll typically hold on to for at least a year. And then if it's like truly something I want to hold on to in like a long term, I just won't sell it and I'll just keep holding. But yeah, I'm not like actively day trading stocks anymore. More so just funneling money from my prop account or my main account into my long term slash like mid term portfolio. I don't use the VWAPs on TradingView. I just use the ones on Addis. On TradingView, I use like the anchored VWAPs. The built-in VWAPs are perfectly fine as well. Just keep an eye on this VWAP, guys. We are coming back into it pretty quickly. 490 if it continues. A very wide A session already, going up about 40 points. With the legacy accounts, do you still have to pay the monthly fee after passing the eval? So with legacy accounts, there's two options if they're still doing it the way they used to, where you can pay a monthly fee or you can pay a one-time fee. If it's just a one-time fee, they're discounted to $125 until August 11th. That was a part of the promotion. So no matter which account you get, I believe all of them are 125. And then they're doing another no activation fee promotion for the 100K accounts. For the 100K intraday drawdown, there's $60 no activation fee. So it just depends if you want a legacy account or if you want a new account. The new accounts are better in most ways. The one benefit the legacy accounts have is, well, two benefits. You can have the bigger account size, and you can hold on to them. So, like, if it takes you longer than a month, you can take those a lot slower. The other rules are a bit better on the new accounts. They're a bit laxer on the payout rules and stuff. Can you explain the difference? There's a lot of little differences, so you'd have to check their website. Like I said, the biggest difference is the legacy accounts, they're renewing, so you can hold on to them for longer than a month. The newer accounts are not renewing. But they have a bunch of small differences on, like, I think their profit goals are slightly different. The drawdown is slightly different. Yeah, you just have to look at their forums. There's a bunch of small differences. I can't remember off the top of my head. Keep it on VWAP back down to 70. Do I think the volatility will increase when the new stock futures begin trading on July 29th? That's a good question, but I don't really know. That's just kind of like a wait and see type of thing. I don't really know how to predict that. I don't really know how much more the volatility could be increased. You know what I mean? I think we're already at a high environment. And to be honest, it's not like they're creating like a completely new market. It's almost as if they're just like taking traders from the options market and giving them something else to do. Like, if that volatility was there, it would already be there from the options market. You get what I'm saying? Like, all those traders that are trading like the derivatives and like that style, they're all kind of already trading options. But now they're just able to trade the stock futures on the individual names instead of the index, right? So I think it's more so moving money around than like creating new money. Yeah, so if you guys don't know what they are, so you know we're trading futures right now. We're trading futures on ES and NASDAQ, like the indexes. They're creating futures, but for individual names. Like if you want to trade futures just on Apple, if you want to trade futures on Microsoft, they're only releasing, I think, like, is it like 20 to 50 names? Like, it's a very small amount. It's only on like the really big companies right now. But like I said, it's not like creating a whole new market. It's just kind of moving money around. Like maybe some traders like us are going to move over, and then some options traders are going to move over. I think it's really a major benefit for the options guys. Instead of doing all the fancy option shit, you can just trade futures the clean way that we do, like the cleanest way to trade. And now you can just do that on the single names. Big sell coming in here. 1,000 contracts at 72, trying to lose that daily VWAP. Sebastian, it's all the same. It's all 90% off. So you just pick whichever account size you want. You can either do the legacy accounts, they're 90% off, or the newer accounts are 90% off as well, I believe. If you don't want the legacy account, the best deal right now is the 100K intraday. It's $59 with no activation fee. It's the same deal they did for the 50Ks, which I'm glad they raised it to 100 actually. Because like I said, the 50Ks are a little tight right now. Yeah, that's exactly right, Sebastian. The 100K intraday drawdown, that's the one you're talking about. They have a special promotion on those, and then everything else is 90% off. Okay, so here is that level, that's 663 on NASDAQ. It's a value level from the 17th. And then we have that rollover level on ES. So we're hitting our first target on both, but we are finding a lot of support so far. Do I think oil's going to do a full rotation? It depends. We'll see how it closes the week. Well, if it closes the week, it might be too late, but we'll have to see. So far, it's just now starting the rotation today. So it's hard to say, right? It's trying to rotate back to like 100. But we literally just started it today. And if it's going to fail, it has to fail today because you're hitting all those VWAPs. The dollar and the yields are running here, so be careful. Pretty much everything that's correlating is correlating in a negative way. Obviously, a big drop in Google, which is pretty funny because their earnings were really good. I didn't see what the exact reason Google went down was because I just read their earnings, and their earnings were good, like I said. Especially their cloud computing. Their cloud computing was skyrocketing. Good morning, Bella. Good morning, Lucio. Oh yeah, Lucio, I saw you ask me about something in Discord. Let me see if I can answer that for you real quickly. So you were asking about the plots. So the plots, this was my mistake back when I coded this. I never named these, and I can't name them now because it's so outdated, like version-wise. I would have to go back and recode the whole thing. But for plots, the first one is the orange pivot. The second one is the blue pivot. The third one is the trail. And then the shapes are the blue triangle on the trail and the orange triangle on the trail. But if you ever have that question, just go to the style and you can see which one they are. Just turn them on and off and you'll see which one they respond to. Yeah, that was just my mistake when I coded it way back in the day. But yeah, I think the OTS is on like version 2 or 3 of PineScript, and they're up to like 7, I think, or 6 or 7, which you cannot convert. You have to like recode it. It was their capex that was bad. That's what I thought. Yeah, that's usually what causes it. But yeah, what day is that? July 29th. That is That's a weird day. They're starting it on a Wednesday. Pentagon, it's basically the same exact trading. It's just like on a higher scale, basically. When you're doing all the order flow and volume profile stuff for like commodities like oil and gold and stuff like that, you're doing the same techniques. It's just usually on higher time frames. That's the only big difference. Good morning, music. Yeah, no problem, Lucio. Yeah, I got into the whole like testing thing for a while, kind of like what you're doing. It's one of the first things I did with Claude when I started using Claude Code, is I had it do like back tests and stuff like that. I'm just out of the age of back testing. I know it helps you guys, like it helps you guys that are newer and trying to test out strategies and whatnot. I'm just completely out of that age. Whenever I want to test something, I just forward test it. I either use an Apex account to forward test it, or I just do it on like a paper account, or I just say screw it and just do it on my live account, which is the riskiest way to do it, really. But yeah, I don't backtest a whole lot anymore. I think the market is just so damn fast nowadays, and it's adapting so quickly that you really want to jump into live testing as fast as you can. And like I said, it doesn't have to be live testing with real money. It could be with a Apex account, like a prop account. It could be with a paper account, whatever. But I think jumping into the live format, the forward format, as quickly as possible is a lot better. The market just isn't what it used to be, where it's like it's in this same structure for a long, long period of time, where like you can back test over like 6 months to a year, and then when you start forward testing, it's the same type of market, so you have the same type of results. Nowadays, the market is changing structure, it's changing liquidity, it's changing volatility so quickly that it's really hard to take your back tested results and have those translate into forward testing live results. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Okay, so we flipped the trail in the 1 minute. We tried to flip it on the 5-minute. It became a trap. The waterfall is already dead. We know it's dead because it flipped back into a red trail on the 1-minute and then trapped the 1-minute as well. So these buyers got completely trapped here. Very small bear div on the high. And then you had that trap pattern on the 5-minute with that cupping pattern above the trail. So here's that prior low coming up. If we break that prior low, just keep an eye on the trade plan targets. But yeah, going back to what I was saying, backtesting works the best when the market is very, I guess, slow or like very stable. Morning, Bob. Yeah, it's like a miniature bear flag and a VWAP there on the daily VWAP. A bit of a weird one. It's a really nasty opening candle. You tried to turn into like an overnight fade, and then it got completely countered. See if they can actually protect that 53. So far, they are. Any recommendations for future brokers instead of prompt firms that also offer rhythmic data? I just use Tradeovate. Like if you're talking about like for your personal account, I use Tradeovate. BS, I'm just gonna permaban you, man. I don't know what your problem is. See you later. Yeah, I just use Tradeovate for my personal and my props. But yeah, guys, why permaban that guy? Um, I don't do the "I told you so" shit. Don't come into my chat saying "I told you so" or like, it's just weird. I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so weird. It's like attention seeking. Don't do that attention seeking shit in my chat. And then the other thing is don't talk shit to each other, right? I don't know what his problem was. He was like telling Steven to shut up for some reason. Either he was talking to Steven or talking to me. Either way, he got banned. It doesn't matter. Yeah, don't talk shit to me or people in the chat, and don't be an attention-seeking child, I guess, is the lesson for today. Good morning, Mauser. Good morning, Chuck. Yeah, exactly, Bet. It's the same thing I say. I try to remind you guys. That's why I sound like a broken record, right? It's why I talk about that IPO pattern. It's like beating a dead horse. I just constantly talk about it over and over and over again because I want to remind you guys that this is the IPO pattern. I don't care what the company is. You could literally hide the name of the company. I don't give a shit what the company is. This is the IPO pattern. It does this like 90% of the time. Like, there are rare occasions like PLTR and a couple of other examples that have like explosive moves around the IPO. But then even the ones that are explosive, if you don't get out fast enough, they do the IPO pattern anyway. And it sells off anyway. Like I said, I do not care what the company is. It's going to do this pattern like 90% of the time. Where would I consider buying it? I'd be looking around like 80 to 60 maybe. Originally I was going to say 100, but it's here too fast. It's at 100 way too fast. So it'd have to be like 80 to 60. It needs to be at a level where, like, if it goes back to the IPO or goes back towards the highs, you need to be able to get a multiple, right? So like if I get in at 80 and it goes back, that's already 100%. And then back to the highs, it's like nearly 200%. That's what you're looking for. You're not looking for a small gain back to the IPO because you're taking a ton of risk. You need high reward for your risk. So you need multiples. A 2x, a 3x, a 5x, right? Are there any trades I'm looking for today? Same exact trades I'm looking for every day. The playbook is the same. Good morning, Vivian. When I get my first payout, I'm using it to get into Discord. I appreciate that. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, right? The goal is I put out so much free content that I hope you guys can get payouts and like just become slowly more profitable, or like I said, even losing less money, protecting yourself more from the free content. And then when you're ready to take it to the next level, if you're making money trading, you want to join the Discord. Obviously, you have that money to do so, right? That's kind of the goal. I usually don't recommend for people to like jump in the Discord right away because it's just too much. If they haven't watched the videos, they haven't watched the live stream, they just have no idea what I'm talking about. They don't know what I'm talking about in my trade plans. They don't know what I'm posting in analysis. They don't know what I'm saying when I'm making comments throughout the day. So you do have to do a little bit of studying, a little bit of research before jumping in. If you watch the live stream for like a month or like a few weeks, you pick up on a lot of it. Joseph, it should just be in my playlist section. If you just go to my YouTube channel and go to my playlist, it should be there. It shouldn't be hidden or anything. Music, I'm not sure in that regard. You'd have to take a look at like your Apex dashboard. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. Okay, you have another small bear flag in the VWAP here. Not exactly a bear flag, kind of a retest. Okay, here's that prior low. We're basically acting like this pump was just a complete trap and we're just going right back into the downtrend that we were already in. Keep an eye on that 440 level. Staying below that is pretty bad. Did I miss any levels here? Usually when there's a big gap, yeah, there it is. So normally when there's a big gap, there's usually a POC that I missed. So I don't always mark out the POCs, but when there's a big gap between my levels, I like to have the POCs marked out. So there's a good example of that. So that would be down to 420. Probably the same thing here on NASDAQ. Actually, not really. No, there's just tails here. This is just 3 tails back to back. So NASDAQ can fall pretty quickly. 4 tails, actually. So this whole zone here is just nothing but tails. They're still trying to protect that level because, like I just said, there's just not a lot below this. It can fall pretty rapidly. So they know they kind of have to protect that. I'm not sure exactly what you're asking, Bob. You have to rephrase that a little bit. Putting in a lower low on price, but a higher low on delta here. So there is a bull div on this low. Bull div and momentum on the pivot as well. Already hitting the bull div pullback, which is that trail. 30-minute pivot on the bottom here as well. A little bottom doji. See if we can hold above that 53. They're trying really hard to protect this level. It's like their last line of support. Corn olive. Good morning, Scooby. Oh, you said on 7/17. What day is that? Let me see. 7/17. Oh, you mean on Friday? So comparing today to Friday, really the thing that it's showing is obviously this is exactly what I was talking about the other day. This is why you watch the pre-market, because the pre-market is so strong recently. I mean, just look at these pre-markets; they're incredibly, incredibly strong. So we have this strong move down in the Asian and London session, and then we're not able to maintain that in the New York session. The New York buyers are trying to protect that low. Kind of the same thing on Monday, but we had a lot of New York sellers, but then same thing, they did not break that low, so the buyers were still protecting it. Then you had the Asian and London buyers protecting that low again. And then now we have to decide now, are the New York buyers the same thing they did on Friday? Are they going to protect those lows? So far, the answer is no, because we have lost that level pretty damn strong, pretty strong break of that level. And then we had a really strong retest. That was the buyers trying to protect it. The buyers tried to protect that low and then instantly nuked and went back down. So New York buyers not looking too good so far. But if we close back on like 500, then it's just the same thing we saw over and over and over, where the buyers are incredibly strong below like 480, 500. Yeah, this is a good example of what I talk about for you guys that are in Europe or in Asia. You can't ignore the pre-markets nowadays. Like, the pre-markets are moving. You can get a lot of trades in the pre-market, which is why, yet again, I put out that trade plan for you guys every night. So if you guys are trading those hours, be sure to check that trade plan, because we have been moving. The pre-markets are incredibly strong. Now, I'm not a robot. I have to sleep sometimes, so I don't trade the pre-market or the post-market hours. No, that one's only on Discord. The pre-market one I put out every night. The only one that's public is the one I put out every morning. Yeah, Sean, they're moving up quite a bit. Dollar's moving as well. We're at that level, funny enough, where the Iran stuff normally calms down. It's happened like 3 times before. Every time the dollar and the yield get to like this level, the Iran stuff kind of pulls back. We'll see if that happens again. It's also a very key level for the sellers on oil, so it would be a prime opportunity for them to calm down this stuff in Iran. Maybe another bullshit ceasefire that happens for like a week or whatever. And then we'll come down a little bit. White House at 11. I didn't see it on the calendar. Is that a new thing? Does it say what they're doing at 11? I don't see that on the timeline. Good morning, Ryder. You don't normally see this. The daily VWAP is incredibly strong, and we're not even testing the session VWAP. We just keep hitting the daily VWAP bearishly. Morning, Ringo. No, not really, Scooby. Like you said, it's more of a long-term thing. It's more of like a quarterly thing. Doesn't really help you too much on the day trading side. You're still obviously bearish because you keep failing that VWAP. But they do need to push away from this level pretty soon. Yeah, Flory, it's I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. I think it's like 6E is the dollar index, the futures contract for it. Like 6E or something like that. No, I haven't tried to add SX. I'm gonna let it cook for a little bit longer. Not a big beta tester anymore. The number 6 and the letter E, I believe is what it is. It took you 2 years to learn not to buy green candles and not to sell red candles. Yeah, it's like a FOMO thing with traders. Like they see a big red candle and they think it's just going to keep going and going and going. And sometimes it does, right? But that's not a strategy, right? Just the fact that it's a red or green candle. Yeah, Olive, I heard it's pretty good. There's obviously bugs because it's like a beta. But I heard it's pretty good. Still getting a lot of bullish delta, which is what I was saying. We need to push away from this level pretty quickly, or those buyers are going to win. Yeah, it's around the POC. So the POC is typically just a lot of chop, which is what we're seeing. The best trades right now have obviously just been VWAP trades. Just selling VWAP over and over and over and over. You can see it on the trail as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 signals to sell the trail here because it lines up beautifully with that VWAP. Pretty bottom heavy candle. You're building a pretty strong node on the bottom here, which is actually a decent sign for the sellers because they got kind of absorbed on the first time. They got exhausted on the second time. And then exhausted on the third time. You can see they're just not really finding anything down here. So now they're finally finding that pressure below, I'd say, like 52. Which I believe 52. Oh no, it's 58. I was going to say 52 is that value level, but it's 58. Possibly a headline here. A lot of buy pressure kind of coming out of nowhere. Here's another test of VWAP. Yet again, another failure of VWAP here. I don't see the headline for that like random spike there. Not sure what that was, but failing VWAP regardless. So back to where it was. Still seeing that bull div on Delta. Yeah, I saw the headline on the rate hike thing, but that's not really bullish normally. Normally the rate hikes would be bearish. Maybe it's slightly bullish because the uncertainty is not really there anymore. Let's actually take a look at the rates. Yeah, this is a problem. So going into the meeting next week, we are at a 60-40. That is pretty bad. Normally when you're like a week out, it's like 90% plus. So the market doesn't really know what to do with this meeting on the 29th. That is not a good sign. We'll keep an eye on that on like Monday. If we finally push down, just keep an eye on those trade plan targets. We have 440, and then we have 392. 440 is pretty much already hit. Then we have 663, which is already hit on NASDAQ. Next one is 281. The first targets are kind of giving us a lot of buy pressure. You can see that delta is still going up here. Very bottom heavy candle, delta rising, meaning the buyers are being absorbed. But they need to push away from it because the longer they stay here, the more it wants to push up. Yeah, you can really go as high as you want. You can look at the weeklies or the monthlies. The weeklies right now, they're not helping too much because they're all above us. But the week that we're retracing goes down to like 407. It's almost like the same exact profile over and over and over again. The last like 4 weeks. You try to have a breakout node, fails, breakout node fails, breakout node fails, right? Kind of the same thing here. Breakout node on the high, and then fails. So pretty much a month straight we've been trying to find higher value, and it just doesn't want to do it. White House press briefing, but it's with Caroline. I think it's just like a normal one. Starts pretty soon. I don't know if this is the first time she's come back. She took a break because of her pregnancy. She had a kid. I don't know if this is her first time being back or not. It's her second time? Gotcha. You're still getting those buyers. They're just really trying to protect below 50 here. Yeah, you can trade based on the current day's volume profile. It's more so like rotations and stuff like that. Um, but using the cash profile, you have to be careful because it's like brand new. Like if you're doing it around the open. But if you're doing it right now, it's been live for a few hours, so it's not bad. But if you're doing the cash profile like right at the open, then you're just doing it kind of blindly. But the full session, it's been around for a few hours. The cash profile after like 10:30, 11:30 has been around for a few hours. We just need to get rid of this bullish delta. The bullish delta constantly coming in since 10 o'clock is the biggest problem for the sellers. If they can fix that problem, then they can go down a lot easier. It's just showing market orders, so whatever the market buys are, it doesn't care about opening or closing. That delta is rolling over a little bit, but it's not giving up that bullish delta just yet. Starting to look pretty bad on the daily. Daily pinch coming into the downside. You've lost every single trail up to the weekly. The weekly trail is 240, which is 200 points away. You've lost the daily all the way down. The daily's not flipped yet. It's only below the green trail. It's not flipping red. That delta could be letting go here. If it lets go and gets very bearish, it can go down very fast. $92 is the next level. Look at that delta starting to come in. Delta coming in to the downside now. It'd be nice to get like another 10% correction on the overall market just to cool off the tech companies. Will the FOMC cause that though? Where would that line up? Yeah, that'd be about where you want to see it. Pulling back to kind of this cluster down here. Around that like 6,800-ish. I think that'd be a pretty decent correction. We just don't really have the catalyst to really cause that right now. Maybe a unexpected rate hike on Wednesday, that could do it. Yeah, as I'm saying that, SanDisk is up. Yeah, the tech companies are still just doing insane. They're starting to cool off a little bit. Like, they're not just going straight up. Western Digital's one that has earnings in a week or so. QCOM next week as well. They are cooling off a little bit. You can see we have a little bit of a rollover top, and then we're kind of hanging out around the bottom of that distribution. If it loses the bottom of that distribution, that's what I'm talking about, like that 10% correction. That would be nice. We're just not really seeing it. Like I was saying on Bitcoin, not sure if that's the bottom. That's a very weird bottom. If that is the bottom. Looks like it's more of a trap. Yeah, it looks like pretty much all the indexes are like sitting on a cliff. They're like right on that level where they need to start buying, which is why I said the FOMC could be the catalyst. Because they all need to start buying like right now, like within the next week. If they don't start buying soon, they're going to lose this distribution and you're going to go for another sell-off. Now, it could be a 5% correction, 10%, 15%, who knows, right? But it just looks like they are due for that correction. We can see the momentum has given up and it's starting to come down here. It's not decided yet. It's like right on that zero line. But it, like I said, they're sitting on a cliff. They need to find those buyers immediately. Like I said, buy the FOMC is kind of your, if you're a buyer, that's like your line in the sand. An unexpected rate hike, or even like a 50, like a 60, 40, 50, 50, and they still hold rates, that's still not good. Because it shows that they are willing to hike. Tesla's down 14%. Did they have earnings? Is that the one that I forgot about? I knew something else had earnings. Yeah, it was earnings. Okay. So I knew Google had earnings. I forgot about Tesla. Tesla hasn't really done much, honestly, for the last couple of years. Seems like they've been a lot more focused on SpaceX. Tesla's focusing very heavily on the robotaxi and like the robot side. We're already in a distribution. There's no question about that. The daily's in a very obvious distribution. We just don't know whether or not it's going to lose it. Another bottom heavy node here. Pretty early, but keep it on single prints back to 37. We are starting to test those VWAPs from the April bottom. So like I said, kind of sitting on a cliff here. Losing that VWAP is pretty bad. That VWAP on ES is down to 306, so not quite losing it just yet. You can see we bounced off it earlier in June. Here comes that POC, which could be a target here at 420, and then we have 392 for another target. Airline's still not starting the press conference. Yeah, the oil bounce is really not great for the high time frames. Like it's up what is it? 37% off the low. About 40%. We'll have to see if it finishes that rotation back to 100. And then obviously, does it just fail that value high? Pretty much all the correlating markets, like I said earlier, are going up. So not good for equities, dollar, yields, oil, all going up. I don't have the stats pulled up, but I talked about it like a week ago before I went on vacation about the midterm year and then going into like the post midterm year or like pre-election year, I guess it's called. And the midterm year is the worst performing year by far of the 4-year election cycle. So, and it's weird because so far we've done pretty good. Like, so far up to this point, we're positive, right? Things are exploding. They're doing very, very good. So could be looking at some sell-offs into the second half of the year. I mean, we're already in the second half of the year, but you know what I mean? Like the last quarter, I guess. If they do want to follow that same pattern that the midterm year is usually the worst performing. It's not like overly negative or anything, but it's the worst performing of the 4 years. I should have saved that chart that I was using to show you guys that. Let me see if I have that somewhere. Here it is. I'll post it in Discord just so I have it for later. So midterm years, not negative, like I said, they're just the worst performing. Median return only 5% compared to the pre-election year, which is next year. Very, very good. Historically the best. And this data is like 100 years worth of data, damn near. So it's not like a small sample size. This is like 100 years. %58 positive, so they do have a 40% negative years, right? Which right now we are positive on our midterm year. But we'll see what it does. Yeah, like I said, so far it's not doing bad. Like, what are we at for the year? Give or take a few percent, we're up about 11%. Oh, that's on the high, so probably a little bit less than that. Yeah, about 8%. So we're a little above average right now. No, I don't do trials for Discord because I do so many giveaways. I do so many raffles. Those are the trials, basically. So we do our monthly raffles. We do random giveaways as well. And then also I added the tutoring to the website, which is another form of a trial because you get all your money back if you join Discord. So like if you pay for the tutoring and then you want to join Discord at the end of the tutoring, you get a 1-to-1 dollar coupon. So whatever you spent on tutoring just goes into your Discord. So that's kind of a trial as well. And there's no real need for a trial for Discord. This literally is the trial for Discord. You're hearing me speak on a live stream every single morning for free. The Discord is just an extended live stream, basically. So the morning live stream is the trial, and the morning trade plans. I do that in Discord as well. The end of day and then like the closing statement for the pre-market guys. I post my analysis and my charts throughout the day, all that stuff. So like you're getting a taste of it, obviously, just being on the live stream. Well, exactly, Olive. That's another reason why I don't do trials, because I don't want people to just join my Discord for free and then download all my stuff and then leave. Download all my templates and whatnot. It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I've got templates, we got tutoring, we got all the indicators, the bots, my analysis channel, my live stream for the entire day. There is some teaching material in the Discord that is exclusive, but not a ton. Like I said, like 90%, probably 80% of my teaching material is free on YouTube. It's not like 50-50 where like I lock 50% of it behind Discord. I try to provide most of my teaching stuff for free on YouTube. We'll most likely have single prints going back to 37 here. And here is that sell-off. Like we said, it needed to give up that bullish delta. If it gives up that bullish delta, it gets a lot stronger. A little bit exhausted there. Single prints most likely back to 37. Another beautiful test of that 24 EMA. Very trendy. We've seen very trendy action yesterday and today. Respecting the trails, respecting the EMAs, respecting the prior nodes. Very trendy. Exactly, yeah. The 420 level to the tick. The 420 POC level. So far to the tick. It doesn't matter how far away they are. If they're single prints, they're single prints, right? It's just that same methodology. As long as it's a single print, it's a single print. If it's not filled in. Distance does not matter. This move is a little bit extended, which is why we're bouncing so quickly. It's extended off of kind of the fair value of where it should be. Yeah, exactly what Scott said. I'm just giving my commentary the same way I'm doing it on stream, just throughout the entire day on Discord. The big difference with Discord commentary is I'm not filling in blank space by just talking, which I try to do on stream just to kind of keep it moving. In Discord, I'm literally only talking if there is something happening. Like if you guys need to pay attention to a level, if you guys need to watch a headline, or if there's like a signal happening, like a bear flag in a VWAP, or like a node, or just anything. Like anything that's happening that needs to be discussed. I don't just talk the entire time, kind of like what I try to do on stream. Yeah, different vibes. Like a lot of you guys, if you're only in the stream, you miss a lot of the strategies that we talk about, like the afternoon reversals, a lot of the exhaustion that happens in the afternoon. Yesterday was a great example. We talked about the exhaustion. I think it was around like 1 p.m., somewhere around there. A lot of like afternoon reversals, afternoon breakouts that are failing. Um, that pattern that we keep talking about in the afternoon with that like bottom half of the candle being absorbed with delta, and then you kind of push away from it. A ton of rotations. You guys get that on the live stream though in the morning, but happens way more often in the afternoon. There's just a lot of little things that happen that don't really happen in the morning as much. Like you could probably get away with only trading the morning, but you're gonna miss out on a lot of things, a lot of different strategies, different trades. But trading the first 2 hours is usually the most active. I'd say for like momentum traders, you get most out of the open. But for reversal traders, you get a ton of reversal stuff in the afternoon. So if you're a reversal trader and you're only trading in the morning, you're missing out on a lot in the afternoon. You get big exhaustion moves like where we failed to stay above value and then came back down for a rotation. You have a big afternoon breakout that wants to go back to the morning value, stuff like that. Single print fill-ins like we're about to see right now. Like maybe you put in single prints in the morning and then you go fill them in the afternoon. Like I said, just a lot of different techniques that you guys don't really get to hear me talk about too much on the morning stream because they're only happening post like 12 o'clock. Anthony, you can find all of my live streams on YouTube. If they're unlisted, they're posted on Discord or they're posted on Twitter. So if you go to my X account, which is at the bottom of the screen, you can find all of my live streams on there as well. I don't delete live streams. I only delete them if I get like copyright striked or like something, if I accidentally showed something I wasn't supposed to, which is pretty rare nowadays, knock on wood. But it's like 99% of my live streams are on there. Some days I will forget to post the announcement. So if there's like a very specific day that you're looking for, if it's not there, just send me an email and I can send you the link to it. Some days I forget to post the announcement. That's also pretty rare. No, not the afternoons. I'm just talking about the morning streams, the morning, the YouTube stream. I don't stream in the afternoon the way that I stream in YouTube. I do it through Discord. So I stream on the Discord like when you share your screen. So if you guys are in Discord, you actually have no delay in the afternoon. You're just watching it 1-to-1. But it's not like saved. Discord doesn't save those. It's more of a screen share, not like an actual stream. Okay, break in the 440 here. Or sorry, 420, I mean. Next level is 392, and that will finish our trade plan. 281 for NASDAQ. This is what I was talking about with NASDAQ. There's not really anything down here to protect you. You can fall very rapidly. So once you lost that 63, you've dropped 200 points already. We could go down to 281. Yeah, Bob, that goes for anybody in here. If you guys are buying, I mean, the only thing you could say you're buying is the single print fill-in. Other than the single print fill-in, there's not really any signal to buy right now. So it's mostly just, you're just fading a trend for no reason, really. The single print fill-in's not bad. It's not terrible. It's not a bad trade. If it gives you an actual reason to look for that. But other than that, literally everything since the open has been bearish. Since like a little bit after the open, you had a attempt to overnight fade, but then like I said about VWAP, failed, 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 failed. Every single time you tested VWAP, and you knew this was strong because, like I was saying, you don't normally see that with the daily VWAP. It's almost always the session VWAP. The only problem here was the bullish delta. And as I said earlier, the second they give away that delta, it's done. And they started giving away that delta, and then look at what it did. It's just completely dead. When it gave away that delta was right here, lower high. And it lost like 40 points, 30 points. So yeah, buying right now, like I said, the only thing you're looking for is a single print fill-in. Other than that, there's nothing to buy. I use both VWAPs, the daily and the session. So right now you have a potential sweep that is turning into a single print fill-in. That's like the only buying opportunity they have seen damn near the entire day. Can it even stay above the EMAs is the question. Oh, Caroline's finally talking, by the way. Have a good day, Olive. I think this is just a normal press conference. Like it's not like a special one. Hey, Scott, have a good day, man. Hey, Josh, have a good day. You as well, Bob. Keep an eye on the single print fill-in, guys. Going back to 37. Started out as a sweep at 18, like I was talking about earlier. That's like the only buy opportunity you have down here. Buyers are still coming in. You have a block traded 500 contracts there. Not too bad. Couple more single prints to go, and then it is complete. They're doing a really good job filling in single prints recently. They're really not leaving a ton of these left open. The VWAPs on TradingView, they're just anchored VWAPs. I just anchor them to whatever levels I am looking at the time. Prior highs, prior lows, stuff like that. You said Trump will be speaking at 2:30 at the EPA. Flory, funny enough, I just put out a short talking about that. You do not change the settings. The settings should always be defaulted to high-low close 3, I believe, on VWAP. But you never change the settings on VWAP. That was one of the shorts I put out on Saturday, I think. Saturday or Sunday. There we go. That's easier. Okay, so the new deal on Apex that you guys were asking about earlier today, it's kind of 2 deals in one. So you have the legacy accounts, and then you have the, I think I missed it in this screenshot. It's actually at the bottom. I'll grab it here in a second. You have the 100K intradays that have no activation fee. They're $60. But for the legacy accounts, it's per account. So it's just 90% off per account, whichever account you choose. So the prices are different. The all-in price is only on the 100K intraday drawdown, no activation fee. But yeah, as always, if you guys want to use code BRUCE, supports the channel. I appreciate that. If you guys do use the code, just hold on to those receipts. I will get those from you guys starting on Monday. So I'll have you guys email me from Monday to Friday of next week, and then we'll do our raffle winners on we'll pull the winners on the 1st of the month, the 1st of August. But yeah, this deal is going until August 11th, and then the other deal for the all-in 100K, that is until the 29th, which is next Wednesday, I believe. Single prints are filled in, by the way. But all right, guys, that is it for now. If you guys enjoy the stream, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe. I will be streaming in Discord for the rest of the day. If you guys are in Discord, I'll see you there. If you guys are not in Discord, I will see you guys tomorrow, same time as always. Just keep an eye on our trade plan. We are still hitting those targets. We have the next target at, let's see here, 392. And then on NASDAQ, that is 281. But all right, guys. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace, everybody.